There's a big golf tournament up here near Seattle right now. News to me.
The U.S. Open's up there?
Yeah.
Was that? I thought that was you standing by that caddy. No. Okay. Look at this, Suzanne. You're kicking us off. So, I believe you guys have been on MVP Office Hours before, so we'll just go ahead with it. So, Suzanne, your question was you were asked this. Go ahead.
You have more than one email to create cases. You know, when you do the email to case. Right now, you know, we have one. We have to verify it. I was asked by the customer care team, can we have different ones that also create cases?
Mark, Steve, you guys want to take a stab at that? I know the answer, but I'll let you guys have it.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Basically, the question is can you have more than one email to case email?
We use email to case, but we've only got one email address that we're using. Let me go into my...
Yeah, we have different, we have different case record types, and I guess what they're trying to do is have cases opening based on record type and things, you know, with the email triggering the case opening, and we have one. So I didn't know if we could create more than one.
Yeah, you should be good.
Kind of a weird request, I know.
No, not weird at all. You can do that under your setup cases email to case.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can have multiple routing addresses.
That's it. That's it. The routing address.
Okay, so it's the same like setting up the one. I can set up the others and verify and have them start creating cases when customers email to that email address.
Yeah, and you can also note the record type in that setup as well. So you said you had different record types. So if that student care has a different record type, you can name which record type that case should be created as.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is like going to like an Ivy League school where the student teacher ratio is like ridiculous. It's like, you know, we've got like a 3-to-1 MVP to customer ratio going.
I have another question. I'll keep you busy.
I
was mass deleting reports that haven't been run since 2013, and our direct mail director said, no, we need those. And I'm like, well, they haven't been run since 2013. And she said, well, they must have been used. And I'm not sure how that could be possible. And is it her, or is that not the way to delete old reports if you put the last run date? Because we have a lot of them, and I was just trying to clean up.
So wait, what method did you use to mass delete them?
I used the mass delete function.
And what was your criteria?
Last run date was like for June of 2013, or before June of 2013.
I mean, and what this user was saying that.
Well, I sent her a screenshot showing that her reports that she claims were being used hadn't been run since 2010.
Let's see. I mean, so she said that there was an old report that hadn't been deleted by the mass delete.
Well, I did delete it. I undeleted it because she claimed they were missing, and I'm like, but nobody's running them. So I,
Steve, it sounds like the issue is this person is saying that these old reports have been run, even though the last run date was prior to 2013. So, the question is that last run date?
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Right.
Hey, Mark, you sound like you're a little ways away from the mic.
All right. Sorry. Let me fix that. that better?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Okay, so the report was mass deleted, but the user claimed that the report had been run and it needed to be
Well, that the
undeleted.
report was still, she claimed it was still in use, and I said, well, I undeleted a handful of reports that she claimed that they're still using. I ran the estimate criteria again, and I took a screenshot and I said, well, it's showing that these haven't been run. And so I'm just wondering, like, I don't know what would cause that, or unless she's just mistaken, which could be.
Yeah, my money would be on she's mistaken. I would look at, because I'm pretty sure that even that last run is not just a user clicking on the report link and then or clicking run report or something like that. I think that even passive runs, like a dashboard that calls in that report being refreshed, or an email, an automated schedule of that report, I think either of them counts as a run. I don't think that passive runs are excluded.
It doesn't delete dashboard reports. It won't allow that.
It won't. So if it was a dashboard report, that's not going to.
Right. It wasn't. It was just a report.
But just a report was. That's the thing I check is the report scheduled? Another thing would be, is it possible that she was thinking of a similarly named report, or a report with an identical name, but then there's the system name. So you could have two reports that have the exact same name, and as long as to save the report, all you've got to do is give it a different system name, like call one V1
right.
and one V2 in Salesforce, but the report name that the user sees is going to be would be identical. I would chalk it up to something like that. Either they're out and out like just wrong, or they're being led to believe that it's the same report when, for some other reason, like the report name or something. It just
So the system name was changed. I get you. Okay. All right. I'll work with our direct mail person and either that or just.
The easiest thing to do is just type it, copy and paste that name and search on it, and see if you get 2 hits.
Yeah, well, actually, it turned out I did delete it, so I did undelete it.
Okay.
A number of them for direct mail, and just figured to leave it at that. And, delete other people's reports. I just didn't know there was something going on with the
I just got done doing a mass delete a couple of months ago, and I didn't run into anything like that. I must have cleaned out over 2,000 custom reports, and I haven't had a single user in the 2 months since then come to me and say, hey, I need that.
Yeah, nobody else has come to me either except for her. So.
Like that again. Like if it's just one person out of how many users you got, that tends to me. That's the thing. Like it's like that's the one that makes me kind of that would indicate it's a user issue, not a Salesforce issue. Things no matter what it is. If it's something I can't repeat, if it's not repeatable, and it's not being reported by anyone else, I tend to turn my focus on the user. It's either
Yeah, I think I'll just skirt around to her reports and keep on deleting because it's very therapeutic. That's all I got. Thank you.
Good question.
Dennis, you had a question.
Yeah, hi guys. How you doing today?
Great.
Hey, account object. Is it possible to if we've got parent and children accounts, to display the children on the account without a lot of triggers and stuff. Without
There's a free app by Salesforce Labs on the App Exchange. It does a really nice job of embedding a little Visual Force snippet that shows the account hierarchy. And the cool thing about it is you can customize it to also pull in fields from those child records.
Oh, that's cool. What's that called?
I think it might be called Inline Account Hierarchy. Let me look it up. It's Salesforce Labs, so it's free. And now with embedded report charts, you could actually create like a report, an account hierarchy report, and throw that in there. But let me.
Yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, totally. Great recommendation. Here, let's put the link in the chat.
Yeah, I see it here, inline account hierarchy.
There you go. There you go. I use it. It's a nice little app. Really easy to set up. It's been out there for a while. Still works.
We actually just used this at my current project, this last month. It's really, really easy to use.
Yeah, so we'd like to have also, I don't know if this app will do it, but we want them to be able to create child account off the parent account. They're looking at the parent record, and then we want to be able to hit a button and create a child account right there and then. Is that possible?
Visual Flow or
Yeah. Yeah. You might be able to do it with Flow.
Publisher Action, maybe?
Yeah. Worst case would be a really simple JavaScript button. But without trying to go the code route, the publisher or the Flow would be really, really great ideas.
I'm sorry. So what tools would I use for that? You were saying use Flow.
So Stevie recommended either Flow or Visual, the new Visual Workflow, or possibly a Publisher Action.
Yeah. I have more experience with Publisher Action. I've never done a Publisher Action that does exactly that, but I'm a little bit more comfortable. I'm a lot more comfortable with Publisher Actions than I am with Visual Flow. Brian Kwong is the guy. He's like the Flow master. Him and Mark Ross are both like big flow guys. They do some amazing stuff with flows.
Jared, you have experience with Flow.
Yeah, tell me
that you could do?
tell me the scenario one more time.
So we're gonna have a bunch of parent accounts, and we want our end users to look at the parent account and then see on a related list. Number one, are there any children, and be able to click those open. And also whether there's a child account exists or not, they want to be able to create the child account right there on the parent account record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if if you wanted to do it in one fell swoop, Flow would be a good way to, essentially query for child accounts, and then display those child accounts, and then allow them, if they want to create additional ones, they could. I think, probably the easier way would be using like a Publisher Action, because the Publisher Action, you could just create the child record right there within the Chatter Publisher.
I mean, a real quick and dirty approach, if there is at least one child, click on that child and click on the clone account button. Actually, is the clone account button standard, or is it clone contact that's standard? I can't remember. There's one.
I think
the contact, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a real Salesforce has like a clone account. They have something in the knowledge base for step-by-step instructions on how to create a clone account, a custom clone account button. You could probably borrow that.
Well, and even if you wanted to pre-populate values, if you build the chatter action at the account level, you can pre-populate some of those fields on your quote-unquote child account using data from the account that you're currently on. So that may work as well.
Okay, so possibilities include flow, publisher action, a clone button. Are those the three best?
Or a hack of the clone button code.
Yeah, I think you can try to do those. I mean, from an effort standpoint, I would probably try the button or the chatter action first.
Yeah.
And then look at the flow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what not to use. Don't use Quick Create.
Quick Create or a multi-pick list field.
Yeah. I want to have instead of creating child accounts, I'll just have a multi-pick list of all the children on the parent account record. Have one.
All right. Well, got my homework assignment there, guys. Thanks. And then I had one other question, unless somebody else is on the line, and I can wait.
No, go for it.
So the sales director wants to run a sales activity report, which I put together. No big deal. Account owner, company name, date, activity type, name of the owner, account owner, duration, hours. Anyway, so he's got these. He basically wants to track his sales reps' activities to include things like cold calls, meetings, face-to-face meetings, presentations. So that's just a matter, I think, of modifying the subject pick list. It looks like there's a on events and tasks.
I would not use the subject pick list for that, just because the subject pick list is kind of like this weird, funky hybrid field. It's not a pure pick list, and when with reports, I love pick list fields for reports because the user can't freeform it, so you don't have these. You don't run a summary or a matrix report with a chart, and then the user starts freeforming it. So next thing you know, your pie chart has like 50 different wedges on it that are like every color of the spectrum, because there's there's a reason why industry is a pick list and not freeform, because you want things like pharmaceutical, financial services, healthcare. You don't want like 500 little tiny one-off wedges in that chart that say, I don't know, they build stuff, they make stuff, they do stuff. I don't know. Google it. You don't want like all this free-form text in that subject thing. I think it's the reason why it is a hybrid is because it also gets used by email integration. So like if you have like Outlook integration or anything like that, subject from the email gets inserted into that same subject field. I would use either a custom pick list field, or I would leverage the standard activity type, because that's a pure pick list.
Agreed.
I guarantee if you use subject and you got any kind of email integration going on or anything like that, you're going to run that report, and you're going to all of a sudden that thing is going to have 50 groupings.
Yeah. Okay. So I see in the setup there's activity fields, custom, and I can click new there. So you're saying that's the route to take?
Either that or leverage the standard type field. Just add new values to that standard type field. Or you could create, another neat thing you could do. You could create a custom pick list field, and it could be with activities. Could you do it? Can you set up a dependent pick list using the type, because activity is this weird hybrid object in itself where there's tasks and events, and they each have their own type pick list. That's an interesting. Actually, let me fire up my DevOrg. I got custom pick list fields on my activity object. Let me see if I can do a field dependency on that. Because that way you could have the standard type pick list. It'd be like call, meeting, whatever, and then you could use your custom pick list to be like a subtype where it gets more descriptive. Like was the meeting a face-to-face meeting, or was it a web meeting, or a go-to meeting, or a conference call? Something like that.
Looks like you can't use the standard type field in independent pick list. Dependency?
Okay. Yeah. So you couldn't use. Okay. So that kind of rules out a field dependency. So yeah, it's kind of like your call. What you think would be a better fit?
Okay. So in setup, then I would look for under activities. I would look for activity custom fields, or where would I go to start getting started?
Well, okay, so there's, because activities have tasks and also events, which are events are typically things that show up in your Outlook calendar, whereas a task could be like a to-do item, a reminder, something like that. So they're actually, it's almost like the activity object is split into two sub-objects, and each one of them has its own type field. So there's a task type field, and there's the event type field, and they can have the same values, or they can have their own unique values.
Okay, let me add one other requirement. The sales director wants his sales reps to use Microsoft Outlook, I believe, calendar to populate the necessary fields to enable him to run these sales activity tracking reports. So given that, where should I begin in setup?
I would use the so if they're synchronizing by email, using Outlook Sync, that should automatically pick email as the activity type. So you should be good to go there. And then, like, as far as, it kind of depends on how he wants to see this broken out, really. I mean, like, I would kind of push this back on them and say, like, what do you want this report to look like? You want to see, like, 3 different types of calls, like call, conference call direct, or like whatever these subtypes are, or whatever, like meeting, face-to-face, meeting, web meeting, or something like that. Or like, I kind of want, I always push back on my users in these cases where they come to me with a report with this idea of a report that they want, and tell them, like, all right, show me it in the spread. Give me an Excel spreadsheet that looks like what you want me to build. And I think that's going to determine whether you go the custom field route, or and have like an activity subtype that differentiates between a conference call or a direct one-on-one call, a face-to-face meeting versus a web meeting, or something like that, or if you leverage the standard activity type fields.
Well, again, he gave me a list of a dozen different types of calls and activities. And then he also has a point system that he wants me to use. So a cold call might be worth, a certain number of points, and a presentation to a customer might be worth, one might be worth 5 points.
That's easy enough to do. You just build a formula number field, and you using a case function, and you evaluate the the value that they selected from the pick list field, and you assign a numeric value to that pick list value. That's easy enough to do.
Yeah, and so as far as the report goes, he would simply have, just like a regular report showing the name of the account, the name of the account owner, and then which type of activity, the number of points, and over a given period of time. So over say a 1 week period, account A, account B, account C, maybe grouped by account owner, and then all these about a dozen different types of activities with the points next to them to see who's, how the rep is, the number of points total and the number of points spent on each activity, if that makes sense. So that's the gist of the requirement.
Yeah. I mean, are you comfortable writing formula fields?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to set up these different activities.
And okay, and again, this is reinforcing using either the standard activity type pick list field or creating a custom pick list and getting away from using the subject field, because you try to write a formula that's going to evaluate the subject and you're integrating with email, you're screwed. Because the data that's going to be in that subject field is going to be all over the place.
Steve, I would use that standard field because of the Outlook sync, so that they can use that standard already built functionality, hopefully.
Yeah, which field are you talking about here?
So if you go into setup, go to customize and then activities, there's a section called task field, and there's a standard field at the very bottom called type, and that's the activity task type field that Steve's talking about.
Okay, so that's the one I would use to add my new.
Use that. Don't use subject.
Got it. Okay, thanks, guys.
Word.
Awesome. Good work, guys. All right. Who else has a question? We got somebody new on. John, welcome to the call.
Welcome.
Anything we can help you out with? We got two of the world's best here, Mark Passavoy and Steve Nolis.
Oh, thanks, Jared. Best at what?
Exactly, yeah.
Does anyone know anything about the certifications test schedule? I'm behind in spring, and I know summer just came out. Does anyone? I think I can still take spring, right?
Oh, I think you have until the end of the month-ish.
The end of this month?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Are you talking spring 15?
Yeah.
No, I think you've got a long time. I think you have until next
okay.
month. Hold on. Let me make sure just before I say something stupid.
You're okay to check that.
Yeah, I was just going to check because I don't think I haven't taken my spring, I think.
Where am I? I just did spring 15 at the beginning of this month. So you have until the end of this month, maybe next week, to do winter 15, and then you should have like 2 or 3 more months to finish spring 15.
Okay, I'm good then on spring, so I already took winter. Okay, thank you.
And then if you're coming up on expiring, Salesforce will send you an email saying,
okay,
hey, finish these exams because they're going to expire on this day.
Yes.
They'll remind you at least once.
Seems like these releases are coming faster and faster, and there's so much stuff that our company doesn't use that I have to learn. Thank you.
Definitely. speaking of certifications, anybody studying for any of the new tests?
Oh, I haven't I haven't looked at the. I just saw that around the app builder one. I'd like to get that one. So we shall see.
Hopefully you can use handy dandy new Trailhead to speed. Anybody else on the call, if you haven't seen or heard of the Trailhead self-paced training, it's free with Salesforce now. Google it. It's really, really awesome self-paced training. Doesn't necessarily align to any of the certifications, but really will.
I'm sorry, what is the name of that? Trailhead?
Trailhead, yep. So just Google Salesforce Trailhead, and it's really awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good resource.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. Just a bunch of self-paced modules where you read and watch some videos, and then do some stuff in a dev org, and you complete the modules and earn points, and it's really, really fun.
Yeah, I found it. I'm bookmarking it now. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, good call.
What else can you help with? Jared, what do you
Yeah,
guys
who else
normally
has?
do?
Anybody else have any? We have about 18 minutes left or so. If anybody else has any questions.
I think I'm questioned out. If something occurs to me, I'll speak up.
Awesome. Dennis, are you good?
Jared, can you present stuff in these Ready Talk sessions?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can load up slides or like. I think here's one here. Oh yeah, so a reminder. I forgot this one was in here. A reminder, Midwest. So this is so we can load these slides in. So Midwest Dream-In is coming up July 9th and 10th in Chicago, and Peter Coffey and Dan Darcy will be there, and a lot of MVPs and a lot of great content that I've seen.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it out one of these years. I think last year was the first year of it. So
Last year was awesome.
yeah, are you going again this year?
Nah, Millie's birthday is the Saturday. Is like the day after it wraps up, and the last 3 times I've flown to Chicago, I've barely gotten out because of the weather. So if I missed Millie's 5th birthday, I would be like, I'd be a dead man.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, she's 5 already?
Plus, we're getting a pony, and I am getting a friggin' pony ride.
Nice.
That's great. That is funny. Anybody else have anything? No?
No, thank you guys. I'm going to jump off. I have actual stuff to do.
All right.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
For your help.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks. All right, fellas. Until the next time.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jared.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
We'll chat at you later.
Talk to you later.
Thank you. Please stand by.